What it is, your boy DJ Mellymel. You're not locked in for another episode of the world famous, nationally syndicated The Cage, streaming live on all major platforms, where we keep it real and we keep it authentic, and this is where we keep it unfiltered. Now, if you watching, no, forget that. If you on the radio and you listening to us on the app right now, you can't see the tension in the room. But if you watching the podcast, if you watching live on YouTube, Apple TV, Roku, wherever it is that you may be watching this, you see I got a gentleman across from me right now. And he got something to say. Because there's been a lot of things going on social media over the last couple of days. And I'm here to address it. Because everybody knows I ducks no smoke. And I said what I said. But we gonna get into that. I gotta cover some news really quickly before we start to really dabble into this interview, because it's a special day. And you know what I say special? That means I got somebody in the house. Man, I can't wait to share this information with y'all. But just kind of catching up on all the news, man. First and foremost, man, WCFL, we've been covering all week, Monday and Wednesday, man. The talent is electric. We absolutely love it. The city of Wellington, man, we appreciate you and all the wonderful people that makes it involved for us to be able to cover that tremendous sport of flag football. Also, want to give another special shout out to our sponsors, Two Brothers Mobile Auto Repair Service. Why sit and wait at a dealership when they can simply come to you, servicing all of Palm Beach County? For more information, visit their website at twobrothersmobileautorepair.com. And if you book an appointment, tell them that Plug Radio sent you and get a 10% discount on all your future purchases. Also, got to give a special shout out to our official drink sponsor of liquor, Bel Air. Shouts out to Renee, Brett, and the entire team, Ross, and the entire team over at the Bel Air community. You know, without you guys, who knows where we would be, man. Your donations and everything have been a tremendous help to us in making sure that we provide excellent service to everybody that comes through. And then lastly, the Streets and our Troy to the event. Shouts out to the big boss himself, man, making things happen from around the way. Now we're going to do something different now that I got all the political stuff out the way. Normally, anybody knows that I always go into, you know, my segments or my shows, but I got somebody sitting across from me, man, who we've been going back and forth on Instagram for a while now. And I think it's time that we come together and we address these things. And let me just, before I introduce this guy, I want to catch people up who may not know what's going on. So over the weekend, this past weekend, a comment went out. And much like most, I don't really address comments because I feel like that's an opportunity for people to get their 10-second fame. I learned that when you're on the airways, you have power. So in the words of Jay-Z, I hear everything. I'm just too big to respond. Real dope lyric by Jay-Z. But I felt the need to respond to this one particular comment because I was having a conversation with a close friend, and I just simply said, I think I could show that some attention. And the comment wasn't nothing crazy. It was just that the coach felt that his team was elite. And much like me, this is the Cage. We make it unscripted. We make it unfiltered. We speak our mind, and we say what we say, and we stand on business. So I responded to the comment. I said simply that I didn't feel that Inlet Grove was elite. I think they have really good players. I think they have a really good coach. But I don't consider that program to elite. My thing is, in order to be elite, you got to have history. And Inlet just got good, if you ask me. You got to have multiple Division I talent. And they got future Division I talent. So I'm not saying where they can't go. I'm just saying where they're not yet. I think they got a little bit more work done. They got to put a little bit more grind in. And I'll be damned if that comment didn't go viral. I'll be damned if everybody and their mama wasn't DMing me and texting me and making death threats. Like, but I got to get into it, man. Sitting across from me, I got veteran. You in your fifth year?
Fifth year.
Is that again?
My fifth year.
Yeah, okay. So you in your fifth year. So you are considered a veteran now.
Yeah.
He's a veteran head coach in Palm Beach County. He has, in my opinion, transformed and made inlet basketball even relevant. He has had a pool of talent that has come through in the last couple of years that have been really tremendous and really monumental and instrumental in his success. He has had some really good programs, really good teams try to really knock him down, but he's like, man, I don't duck you. I'm willing to fight with you. I'm willing to play with you. Ladies and gentlemen, probably the second best dressed coach in all of high school sports behind Jason Powell. Coach Powell got to be number one. I got head boys basketball coach. Coach Brooks is in the building.
What's going on, man? Long time coming, man.
Man, Coach, first and foremost, I wanted you to come on, but I didn't think it was going to be under these pretenses. God, what's wrong with your community, man? Your parents fight for you, dog.
No, I appreciate that, man. Yo, anytime they feel like any one of our boys get slighted or they not on them, and they coming to war behind
They
them.
coming to war. And, man, we gonna touch on that. But first, man, I gotta say this, man. You know, when I took over this show, I wanted it to be about giving people their flowers and shining a light, whether it be positive or critique. I don't say negative. I always say critique. I want to shine light on them to bring notoriety to them. I want people to know who they are. I want people to know why they're successful and give people the flowers, because I feel like in Palm Beach County, we do a piss poor job of highlighting our athletes. And so anytime that we have an opportunity to shine a light on somebody, anytime that we have an opportunity to give people their flowers, let them know they're appreciated, I like to do that. And so, Coach, I want to say you are appreciated, because I see the time and the energy and the work that you put into this. I see how you're, spending your Saturdays and Sundays with other people's kids, probably neglecting your own in some cases. Let your wife tell it, you know what I mean? Because I know how women are. So I want to say, man, I appreciate everything that you do for our young men and continue to be a positive role model in their lives. First and foremost, what got you into coaching?
Man, I started coaching when I was like 19. I always had a feel for the game. My uncles always coached. My uncles coached me back in Wells and Pee Wee ball, so football, basketball. So I would always sit and watch sports with my uncle, with my dad, and they would always like just teach me the game, teach me everything going. So I was like, you know what? I'm kind of like good at, getting the most out of kids, talking with kids and working with kids. So I just say, you know what? Let me put my name in the rink and try to, see how successful I can be coaching basketball and football, and I can say I've done pretty well so far doing it.
Now, are you a native of Riviera Beach?
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised, right?
38 years, born and raised.
What was it like growing up in Riviera Beach for people that don't know? Because let me tell you something, the Raw got a really good reputation. First 48 one day, and the other day, man, y'all having parades for the kids, and it's a positive thing.
Man, growing up in Riviera is definitely a jungle, man. But you got to be mind strong to be able to separate yourself from, what you see out there. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot, like I tell my boys, a lot of my friends did everything else on that side. So when it was time for them to do that, I went this way. You feel me? Like my parents, my grandmas, my uncles, my aunties, they ain't play none of that stuff. So it wasn't no getting in trouble. It wasn't no doing nothing stupid outside in the streets or whatever. So, man, sports just kept, my focus on sports and school just kept me grounded. And, you know what I'm saying, I didn't want to make those decisions that others made. So just kept my head forward and kept going down the right path, man. But it's definitely hard. I ain't gonna lie and say I was perfect doing stuff just through the blessings of God. I didn't get caught with some of the stuff that happened, but you know what I mean? Just having a good background, man, and just knowing what's right from wrong and knowing when to separate yourself. But growing up in Revere definitely has its advantages, and it definitely has disadvantages, because it's going to get you ready for the real world, because the Raw ain't the easy place growing up in.
No, it's not. And you mentioned separating yourself from, other things. So growing up as a kid in is it Riviera or Revere?
Riviera.
It's Riviera. So why do we say Revere?
We have we cut words short. We take syllables out of words.
Right.
Make it sound good.
So growing up in the Raw, man, you mentioned as a kid you had to make the decision of, okay, I know my peers are going this way, but I'm gonna go this way. Mm-hmm. What were some of the activities that you did as a kid to kind of distract you and pull you away from the other side?
Basketball. Well, when I grew up, baseball was my first sport.
Baseball.
So
okay.
I always played baseball at Wells, Al Tatum, Tates. So I was always playing baseball and football. I didn't start playing basketball to high school till I got 6 foot. Then I started playing basketball. But just playing sports kept me grinding. Man, I was always at Wells in the rec league programs with baseball and football. I was always there doing that. So sports really just kept me out of it. Like just staying in the gym playing basketball or going to different parts and playing basketball. That was my main focus growing up. Especially that middle school, high school years when you're trying to find yourself and really know who you're trying to become or whatever. So I just stayed head first in sports, man, especially basketball, and that just kept me separated from a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Now you said you grew up playing baseball. With the money that's being given out now to baseball players, you go Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Okay, $500 million, $600 million contract. Is it safe to say that we picked the wrong sport as black people?
And it's hard as hell to make it in baseball, but once you get there, lifetime. You can pay till you 40, 50 playing baseball, man, to keep making money. So yeah, I think we overlook baseball a lot because it's not as cool or as popular as basketball and football. But definitely, you got the talent in baseball, man. Pursue that because it's longevity in it.
It is. So okay, what role did your parents play in your sports? Like, was it something that you just naturally geared towards, or was it something that your dad or your mom say, you know what, go outside and go play, or we want you in this sport? What was their role in that?
It was a combination of both. I mean, my oldest brother, he played football, so growing up, I always emulated him, wanted to be like him. So he was a football star at Dwyer. So everybody knew who he was.
Football star at what school?
Dwyer.
Star at what school?
Dwyer.
Oh, Dwyer. Okay. Go ahead.
We went to Dwyer. So just following in his footsteps, man. I always wanted to play sports. My mom kept me in it. Any sport I wanted to do or any team I wanted to play for, she kept me in it. My dad was the same way. He was like, well, if you want to play a sport, man, you got to work at it. You can't just sit in the house and say you want to be good. So, they played a big role in me playing sports.
And so now, what middle school did you attend?
John F. Kennedy.
And I was told if you went to Kennedy back in the day, that was like the HBCU of middle schools.
Yeah, for sure. Facts.
Why is Kennedy revered as one of the top middle schools in like the county?
I mean, well, before it was Madden, it was like really the only middle school in Riviera Beach. So everybody that grew up in Riviera Beach, they went to John F. Kennedy, and it was a big culture shock or a change for me because I went to Alamanda, which is in Palm Beach Gardens, which is predominantly, you know what I mean? So coming to Kennedy and seeing everybody that looked like you and seeing this whole different environment, man, it's different.
It's different.
But the basketball team and the band, them the two main things that drew everybody to Kennedy. So Coach Mitchell had the basketball program like at elite level. Mr. Nance, the band director, had the band at like an elite level. So it's either you played sports or you was in the band at Kennedy. So I think that's the reason why back then why Kennedy had like such prestige or the name that it had.
Did you beat Roosevelt?
I didn't play basketball at Kennedy, but band for sure we beat Roosevelt.
You think so?
For sure.
I heard that band rival in Kennedy.
Yeah, it wasn't no joke. It wasn't no joke, trust me. I ain't realized it until I played in the band. I really seen what
it's like
was.
Lakes and Suncoast.
Yeah, if you went to Roosevelt, you go to Lakes. You went to Kennedy, 9 out of 10, you went to Suncoast. Yeah.
If you could get in.
If you can get into Suncoast, yeah. If you get into Suncoast, yeah.
So now high school, where'd you end up in high school?
My freshman year, I went to Gardens. I got put on the wait list to go to Suncoast. I applied too late because I was me and my cousin were going to try to go to Carl Newman, but that didn't work out. So we wound up having to go to our home school, Gardens, for a year. Then I transferred and went to Suncoast my 10th and 11th grade year. And then my senior year, I moved to Boynton with my family, and I went to Boynton Beach High. So I graduated from there.
Boynton Beach High. Well, out of those three schools, which one was your favorite?
Boynton Beach, by far.
Why Boynton?
Just the culture there, man. And then 03 is when we lost in the state championship on the game winner from the half court. Darren Kitchen hit a buzzer beater from the half court. So just being around that school and being around that whole environment, man, it was the best. Like none by far.
Now I'm going to label you as an historian in basketball because I think you came up, in my opinion, the golden era of Palm Beach County basketball.
Facts.
2003 to 2007, 8. Lakes basketball ran Palm Beach County. Debatable?
Yeah, Lakes, yeah, Dwyer. Boynton had a 3 year stretch. But definitely was Lakes and Dwyer. That was always the main two.
What was it like playing ball during that time? The Marcus Hubbard, the Jarrett Browns, the Lemar Goldwise, the Lonzo G's, the Sez, the Fred Browns,
Man, it was crazy. Like everybody had like a killer or two, man. Like you just said, that Lakes team. So I remember my junior year before I transferred to Boynton, just watching that game. Like you said, you had Lewis Graham, Marcus Hubbard, Jared Brown, Randy Jones. It's like all on one team. And then you had Boynton coming in with Dave Noel, Brian Macon, Deontay Perry, you know what I'm saying, Jacob Bell. They had their own 2-3 guys that went Division I. Then you had the Y. You had Lemar, CY, Kyle Marks, Cletus Fogg. Man, it's crazy. Like every night you playing against somebody that had 2-3 dogs on their team, man. That averaged 20. Then like you say, you had Lil Daniel, and you had Fred, had that whole next Lonzo G, that whole next class come in, man. So it's definitely crazy.
Now you see how you were able to name so many players. In that era. And that was almost, 10, 15 years ago? 20 years ago, maybe.
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
22 years ago.
Well, I ain't trying to age you.
Yeah, hey, man.
20 years ago, you can name all these people. Why do you think people say that there's not a lot of talent here in Palm Beach? We can't name 20 to 40 guys like that now.
I always disagree with that. I just feel like South Florida just gets the reputation of being a football community. So, and me and my homeboys used to always have this debate. Like I used to always say back in those times, like 03, 04, I used to always say, man, if again Lemar, Deontay, Dave, B-Mac, Tavares had all them kids, Marcus Hubbard, Lewis Graham, if they went and played school down south for Central Florida, it's a whole different ball game. And I just felt like, you know what I mean, we just had a bad rap for just being a football state. Because at that time, we had elite football players at that time, too. So it was
Super Bowl winning quarterback.
So it's like, man, you look at South Florida, okay, that's where you go get your football kids at, not too much of basketball. So I think it was just the lack of coverage around here, shall I say. Then social media wasn't that big neither, so we relied on the newspaper. It was the Sunset and the Palm Beach Post. That was it. It wasn't really too many publications like that, like how it was in, you know what I'm saying, down south for like Central Florida area or whatever like that. So, but I always disagree with that. I always felt like Palm Beach had a lot of top talent. It just was spread across so thin between so many schools that it wasn't like, after a while, it wasn't really like too many powerhouse teams. It may have had like two that had like top talent, but then you had like an elite player spread it out through every school. So I think that kind of like, not gonna say watered it down, but I think that's where the opinion came from.
And it's crazy, and I got one more point before we go to commercial break, but it's crazy that people don't think we're a basketball state when we have turned out, in just Palm Beach County alone, four NBA players.
Right here.
Right here for the crib.
Right here. St. Andrews, Cardin Newman, Forest Hill, and can't think of the other school.
Dwyer. Yeah. So it's just like, it amazes me how people still don't put respect on Palm Beach County. And,
amazes me.
And if we utilized our resources here, we would blow Broward and Dade out of the water.
Yeah, no, facts for sure. Like you said, resources. It's a different type of ball game. As soon as you hit that Deerfield line, it's a different ball game. As soon as you hit Orlando, it's a different ball game.
We got money here.
Yeah.
We got good money here. We got 10,700 millionaires and 47 billionaires, all within 20 minutes of each other.
It's just it's not put into basketball like you look at. You look at down south, they have their big circuit teams. You have SOH Elite, you have Night Riders, you have all these big top programs down there. Then you go to Orlando, you got Florida Rebels, you have they different top-notch travel programs down there. It's like South Florida, it's like everybody's on that independent level, which is great. Great travel teams. Of course, Wellington, I've been with Wellington 6 years, so I'm always going to say Wellington is one of the top-notch ones. But it's definitely more resources down south and up north.
10-4. And with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back here on the Plug Radio app for another episode of The Cage.
For sure.
That's that Friday Meek Mill, proud of me, off his new album, Sometimes I'm Good, Sometimes I'm Not. Man, that's a dope body of work, man. Shouts out to Friday and his whole team, Edgar, L. Nice, and all the ones out there that made that project happen, man. That to me is an all-time classic, man. And I had the pleasure of interviewing Friday, and I got some things coming up with him that I'm going to be able to take advantage of. So, man, just shouts out to the whole entire team. But if you're just joining us, this is another episode of the world-famous nationally syndicated The Cage, live on the Plug Radio app, streaming on all major platforms. I got boys basketball coach Brooks from Inlet Grove is in the building.
Yes, sir. Coach,
I mean, before we went to commercial break, we were talking about some of the better travel programs. And I don't know if you saw this, but I put out my top 5 ranking for best travel basketball programs. At number 5, I had Harris Athletics. Number 4, Lake Worth Pride. Number 3, Ball for Life. No, number 3 was Jupiter.
Jupiter Jazz. Okay.
Number 2 was Ball for Life. And number 1 was Wellington.
Facts.
What do you think about the list?
Right here, yeah, that's a pretty elite list. Every program on there develops players, play the right way, playing actually great tournaments. You know what I mean? And they serve the purpose of a travel program. So I agree with that list. I agree with top five.
One of the things that I said that kind of like ruffled a lot of feathers, which I don't intentionally try to ruffle people's feathers. I just be myself. I just say what's really on my mind and what I think, right? But they were like, how do you rank Wellington #1 for best travel ball program? And my answer to them was, how can you not?
Yeah, why not?
They are successful. I mean, yes. I mean, they may not have the best talent. Because but their teams are talented now. There's some teams that Wellington has had that nobody wanted smoke with, right? But they have grades from 3 all the way to 11th grade, boys and girls. Really good coaches like yourself, Coach John, Coach Pino. I mean, they've had some really good coaches. They're playing a competitive schedule, enough for them. But the most important criteria with that is Wellington supports Wellington.
Yes, definitely.
They got Wellington money. You know what I mean?
Facts.
They catching $1,500 flights. I mean, like
Facts.
they have the support, and other programs don't. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that they don't, but it just is what it is.
Wellington has the resources, man. Any top player that you can think of that came through Palm Beach County recently in the last 10 years has put on a Wellington jersey. And
Correct.
There's facts to prove it. You know what I mean? So how can it not be one of the most #1 in mine? Not just because I coached there, but I always heard about Wellington even before I started coaching there. Because my homeboy's nephew was playing for them, and I always heard about Wellington and the Wellington coach even before I got started in it. So when the opportunity came, it was a no-brainer, and I've been seeing firsthand ever since how it's like probably the top-notch independent program around here. Because Chris will tell you, make a call, it's a wrap.
It gets done.
I mean? It gets done. You know what I mean? He can get into the events that some travel teams aren't able to get into just because of his name and the culture he built and, the work he put in behind it and the staff and the success that he has. So they get my opinion as #1. Also, too, shout out to Born Ballers, man. Born Ballers is another one that's up and coming. I ain't gonna say up and coming, but they solidified themselves as well, too. A lot of the inner city U kids play for Born Ballers, and a lot of kids that's come through Born Ballers as well, too. So shout out to Trav and Courtney.
What do you think about, and I hate to call it beef because it's not beef. It takes two people to beef.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the Florida Vipers taking a shot at Born Ballers? Wait, first, did you see the comment?
I've heard about it. I have a couple of 8th graders that play for Florida Vipers. So I heard about it. I didn't necessarily see.
So here's what happened. We were talking the same thing, top travel basketball programs. And Vipers, Brandon Mathey put out a statement basically saying that none of those programs are real programs.
It's a bold statement.
Florida Vipers has put in more athletes in college, has done more for the sport of basketball, for travel basketball in the community than any of those programs combined. And, no one even respects a program. And then he said, like a Born Ballers, because they were in the comment section. So what do you think about a statement like that?
From his perspective, he's looking at what he's done and accomplished over the years, which Brandon has done, tremendous things with Florida Vipers. Like, they were one of the top ones, like, when travel ball first started, when you had to be, like, when it was exclusive to play travel ball, like, everybody just couldn't play. So, probably from his perspective, he probably looking at, man, I done put in this work, I done did everything. Like, I probably never heard of Born Ballers, you feel me? I wouldn't have probably necessarily made that comment, but I mean, and then Born Ballers, they looking like, okay, we may not be as known as around, as Florida Vipers is, but man, what they doing, what he feel like what he doing for his community and the platform he giving his kids, he's like, man, why am I not named? You know what I mean? Like, again, too, with a lot of the elite talent from Dwight over the past couple of years has put on the Born Ballers jersey. Robert Brown has put on the Born Ballers jersey. You feel me? They got a lot of kids from Palm Springs now that's playing travel with Born Ballers. So they looking at it like, hey, we doing our thing around here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm worried about my community. I'm not worried about, the whole state of Florida. So I get both sides. I see where both coming from. That's a big shot to take.
Hey, man, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We got to have Brandon on the show because Brandon said he was willing to do it. So I got to bring Brandon on. We got to talk about that one. Okay, so now you got into your coaching career, man, and your first job at Newman, man. Talk to me about what it was like actually coaching in high school for the first time.
Man, Carter Newman was actually was a blessing. I'm not gonna say an accidental blessing, but it came about crazy. the head coach, which is Tavares Harris, he was getting a haircut at the salon I had. And one of my homeboys called me on the phone. He was like, man, you still trying to coach? And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely trying to get my foot in the game. And he's sitting right there. He's like, man, why you tell me you want to coach? I was like, I thought you already had your staff, everything, put together already. So, I'm going to say that. He's like, man, look, we'll chop it up tomorrow. You'll be one of my coaches. So, I told him, I was like, well, look, I don't want to, my first year, I don't want to just head coach. Learn under you. I'll follow you around. I do, I'll take notes and learn from you. I'll be one of your assistants. He's like, all right, cool. We go to the meeting. He tell the AD, yeah, this is my JV coach right here. Like, what, bro? I didn't. So he threw me in the fire. You know what I mean? He said, man, throw you in the fire, you'll learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll find your path, you'll find your way. So, working at Newman was a blessing, man. Like the resources, just from everything, from the parents to everything at the Cotton was great, man. I love my experience there, just the support, the players, the community, the resources as well, that made everything easy, And I learned a lot from there. I had two different teams. My first team, I had a very athletic team. I had some dogs. I could just let them play. You feel me? And just micromanage here and there. My second year, I had a team full of shooters. So that's when I really had to get them a bag and coach. And when we played against these athletic teams, I had to really, outthink them because we didn't have that size or that strength that we had the year before. So that second year at Newman really put me in my bag of coaching. I'm like, okay, I can really do this for real.
Right.
I might be all right at this.
So, and I want to say this too, shout out to T. Harris because a lot of coaches would not do that. Like people, I don't want to give too much secrets out, but when jobs open up, people that's not in these circles, they don't understand the handshake at the barbershop type deals. You know what I mean? So, so shouts out to T. Harris for being the man and honoring his word. Like, hey, you know what? You want to coach? I got a position for you. I'll make it happen. And very few coaches can just walk into the AD office and say, hey, that's my coach. Yeah. And very few are willing to do that because a lot of these coaches out here, man, and I found is they won't bring you on staff if they feel like you are comparable to them.
Yep.
Because they feel like, man, if I get fired, you can take my job.
100%.
And I hate that mindset too. That's why a lot of coaches won't go work with a lot of other coaches. It's it sucks, but
egos, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to T. Harris, man. Shout out to T. Harris. So you got your job at Newman, man, and then, and I don't even want to say it was a shockwave, but it was kind of a shocker because at the time Inlet had just gone through that third coach. The job becomes available. How'd you get the job, or how did the idea even come about?
When COVID hit, Inlet shut down all the sports, so they wasn't even considering even bringing it back. Anybody know Dr. Banks? She by her she by her academics.
What?
She by her straight A, her A-rated school. So COVID hit, she wasn't even really, thinking about bringing sports back. And then the job, we wound up parting ways from Carl Newman, and then somebody was like, man, the Inlet job gonna open up. And I was like, man, it's crazy. I'm a big believer in God. And I'm like, it's crazy how God works because just 3 years prior to that, before they got rid of the old coach, I was just telling my assistant coach, Trav, I said, man, let's go to Inlet and try to bring it back to where it was. Probably right after Dante graduated. And he was like, man, how would we do that? They ain't got the resources, they ain't got the kids, da-da-da-da. And I said, man, we'll make it happen. And then fast forward 2-3 years later, opportunity sat right there. And I called him. I said, look, man, the job open, about to fill out for it. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because I got like other mentor coaches who I speak with a lot. And they was advising me not to take the job.
Right.
Not to.
That's a political suicide job.
Not
right there,
to.
Boy.
And I mean not one coach I'm cool with was like, take it. And I'm not going to say that. T told me to take it. He definitely told me to take it. He was like, hey, man, look, just go in there and do what you do. And you'll be all right. Other coaches was like, look, man, you can come coach with me. I'd rather you coach with me than you go over there and have to deal with that. You know what I mean? And it opened up, and thank God they hired the right 80 that they did, which is Hakeem Banks. He came in, he wanted fresh new blood. You know what I mean? He didn't really want, not to say he didn't want, but he felt like I need younger guys to kind of be able to relate to kids and transform this back into what it needs to be and even better. So I think with him accepting the AD position, that really helped change everything because he brought myself in. He brought Alfonso Smith in, who's legend in poker. Yeah,
new football coach.
New football. Yeah. He brought in a whole new wave of just all new young people. And it's funny because during the interview, he asked me what's my top 3 goals, and I was like I was like making these kids men on and off the court, development, then winning. So he was like, why is winning third? Because if I do the first 2 things right, then winning comes along with it. You feel me? So he was like, man, I never heard that response before. Every coach just say winning, 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 winning. I can win 1,000,000 games, bro. I told this to coaches too. They told me I was crazy. I told my coach, if I win a state championship and none of my kids go to college for basketball, I won't be happy. I'll win 5 games every year, and if I can send 3-4 kids to college every year, I'm fine. Man, I'm perfectly fine.
I'm glad you said that, because I tell people all the time, the 2023 team that we had, the Wire, we were loaded.
Loaded for sure.
And I tell people, you wanted smoke that year too. I'm gonna ask you about that one. But I tell people all the time, they say, what was the biggest accomplishment, for that championship year? And I always say, the state championship was great, but all our kids went to school.
Yep.
100% of them. Now, what they do when they get to school, that's on them.
I tell that.
But they had the opportunity
to go.
Yep. And many people don't. Mason Brown's now at Cleveland State, Division I. Blake Wilson, who's now in the transfer portal and has some pretty good D1 aspirations, that's probably going to come to fruition.
Player. Love watching Blake play.
Man, he got the 3-point record at his school right now. Shocker, right?
Right. Love watching Blake play.
So that's really awesome to see, man. But you take the job at Inlet, man, and you do what nobody thought that you could do. Get a winning record at Inlet. That was the struggle, because the first couple of years is like, oof, what the hell he gonna put together? But now you start to see. And I tell people all the time, and I hate to use it, but I gotta phrase it this way so people understand. You can take the 7th, 8th, 9th man, or what many people would call the reject of another team, bring them to Inlet, and they become a star. In their own role.
100%.
And for me, I always thought that was extremely dope. It's like, hey, you may not see the value in this guy, but I think he got some untapped potential. Let me try to go get that. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces of the reason why Inlet has been successful, because you're getting guys who may not be playing a lot of minutes elsewhere else, but they can come here and be a star.
Come right away.
And come right. And you're not afraid to put a freshman on varsity. If he can play, he can play.
He can play.
And that's something big too. Some people want to put the freshman on JV, give him a year to see.
Nah, I don't do that.
Nah, man. He coming to if he here, he coming to play.
If he good, yeah.
So I respect that. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, right? There was a list of ESPN Top 63 that came out. And me and you had conversations before the list came out on where you felt that your players should be.
Should have been.
And when you got the list, it was not what you expected. What were your initial thoughts after you viewed the ESPN Top 63 list?
Outside of taking my players out of the equation, the players who I saw ranked, where they were ranked, I pretty much came in with the notion that, okay, this is where this guy be ranked. Like, JQ, Tamari Reed, I always forget the kid name from Royal Palm. Kennard. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I don't want to mess it up. So those players, I figured, like, okay, you know what I mean? Kyrie, like those, Jamari from Suncoast, those will be the guys that's going to be, the standout ones. But then when we got in the 20s, 25 was Jamarcus. I'm like, scratch my head. I said, okay, this is breakout year. I give him that. Then we get to 21 is Robert Brown. I'm like, all right, so what's the criteria here? Because I'm like, if it's wins, we won 18, 19 games right along with everybody else. If it's stats, Raw averaged 18, Jamarcus averaged 15, right along with everybody else. So I'm like, if it's future, how they going to school or Division Ones or whatever like that, both of them got Division One schools that's on them and that's ready to offer them, that's ready to talk to them when June 15th hits. So I'm like, what's the criteria? So then I can only go back to think, it's Inlet, you know what I mean? So it still ain't get that level of respect that other kids, would get. And ain't gonna lie, I put it out there, man. As soon as that list hit, Jamarcus was texting me like, Coach, I bust him over the summer.
He did the AJ Ortiz. Hey, look, you got that guy ranked above me, and I gave him 40.
Hey, and then Rob, he's super humble at saying people get him mixed up. They get the wrong perception. He's super humble. He just like, hey, man, look, I'm gonna just keep working. He said, I ain't gonna lie. He said, I'm grateful to be. Jamarcus was too, but they were just a little confused, like, well, how did it work? You know what I'm saying? So when we talk, I was like, well, they top 10 for sure. You looked at me, I'm like, based on every criteria that it is, they should be top 10. You know what I mean? I didn't expect them to be 5. When I said top 10, I kind of knew that they weren't gonna be top 10, at least probably top 15, just because you know what I'm saying. It's inlet. You know what I mean? We in our little corner over there, so we don't get the recognition as everybody think. You know what I'm saying? As my program feel like it should, but. I was like, damn, 25 and 21. I was like, ugh, man.
So, I looked at this list and I had a couple things that, I thought should be addressed. But I think the one bigger one, as we started to really dissect the kids that didn't make the list, Anthony Gatlin from Dwyer, Jordan Johnson from Palm Beach Gardens, Tariq McLeod from Lake Worth.
Yeah, I ain't get Tariq.
So
my 3 other guys, I feel like
Taylor Hodge,
Taylor, Jordan, Benson, especially Taylor. Taylor definitely should have made it to me. You know what I mean? 3 of
could have been 63.
Could have been 63. 3 of varsity starter, point guard, leader, captain, the whole nine, everything you want in a player, man. So I definitely thought at least those 3 would, would be on it, because people don't understand the sacrifice that Taylor really made on himself.
Right.
You know what I mean? He saw that, okay, I got Robert coming in, I got Jamarcus coming in. If I can be a true elite floor general and set the table and feed them, this going to make us better. So we went from a 12-win team last year to 18, 19-win team this year and made it to our first district championship since Dante left. And Dante left, 7, 8 years ago?
Gosh, I was in high school when he left.
Yeah, so, people don't understand the sacrifice that he really made, you know what I mean, to make everything work. Because he can easily go out there and get 14 to 15 a game, but he's not that type of player. He wants to win at all costs, and he plays like so. I definitely feel like Taylor should have been on there. Jordan Black, if anybody knows Jordan Black, anybody seen Jordan Black play basketball, they know exactly who he is. You feel me? But it's just sacrifice too. You know what I mean? I'm a sophomore, my first year start, and I know I got Taylor, Rob, Jamarcus, and Ben. So let me find my niche. Let me find my role to play. But his games, we don't win without him. You know what I'm saying? He done had like 4 20-point games, 17, 18-point games. But if he don't play, our record worse than what it is. So I definitely feel like a few of my boys should have been on, especially Taylor. I feel like they should have at least been on there. You know what I mean? But, hey.
Now, I will say this about Taylor, because I had the pleasure of coaching Taylor, coming up through the travel ranks. Taylor plays hard, and he works even harder.
Every play.
Mr. Hustle that's
really his name.
That's really his name.
It's really his name.
And you spoke about his sacrifice of him being able to just, I know I can go get 15, but if I got these other guys that can win too, let me just go feed them. Make them look good, and ultimately it makes me look good.
Facts.
And now you say that I'm in my first district championship game since Dante. Now I can double back next year running back. I got my same team, and I'm only going to get better, because who knows what the summer may bring.
No, facts. So
another part about the ranking, what were your thoughts about the inclusion of women?
I actually liked it. Contrary to what some other coaches feel. Because like I said, man, some girls that's better than some boys around here, man. So I was happy that they got the recognition. Now, I did initially think that it was going to be 63 of both, or maybe probably 30 of girls and 63 of boys. So I can see how the inclusion of girls probably may have, not going to say rubbed coaches the wrong way, but kind of caught them by surprise, because that kind of took away a ranking for one of their players by including the girls, because I think 3 girls are in the top 5, 2 girls are in the top 5.
Might have been more, yeah.
But they monsters though.
But they were monsters.
The girls monsters, you feel me?
But they
young,
were monsters.
Young women are monsters.
Ty was a monster. That girl from Park Vista, she can hoop.
The young women are monsters. So so it took me a little minute to digest it, but I'm like, you know what? It's fair to include them. But I can get where a coach would feel like, you know what I mean, this might have took away from my kid. They probably could have separated the girls and did like a top 20 or 25 for the girls, so that way they still got their same recognition, and then the boys or the 63 got their own recognition, because there was some kids who were in the All-Star game that didn't get ranked that were pretty good too.
Right.
You know what I mean? That didn't make the top 63. So that was a little surprising for me when I saw girls, the women included into it, but at the end of the day, I didn't really have too much of an issue with it.
Now I'm gonna go to the comments that were being generated over the weekend, or last weekend, about the comments that Inlet Grove is not an elite program. And I want your thoughts on these takes in a second. In my opinion, I feel like Inlet Grove historically have not been great. They've had good teams, but they were not great teams. And it wasn't just until like the last 5 or so years, inlet became, wait a minute, I gotta go to sleep tonight. I can't party all night before thinking I'm finna go play inlet and go get 30. No, them days are over. You see inlet on your schedule, you better be come ready to play because we coming to play too. And I said that I think in order for inlet to become or be considered an elite program, winning plays a factor in that. Having talent, having coaches, and having consistent success is what makes a program elite. And I named a few like Wellington and Dwyer. What were your thoughts about my comment on Inlet Grove not being an elite program?
I mean, I disagreed 2,000%.
Okay.
I mean, like shout out to Coach Paul. Man, Coach Paul, you need a coach like Coach Paul, man, because Coach Paul gonna say,
He gonna ride or die.
he gonna say what the HC can't say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff I can't say or do. It's not in my character or my personality to do anyway. But there's plenty of times where I want to call whoever, hey, man, look here. You feel me?
Put some respect on my
name. But then that Revere come out too quick, man. And my mom and my homeboy say I still don't know how to talk to people when I get mad. So I had to just chill out. But nah, man, I definitely disagree, man, because like, you know, I got all the proof here in the world, man. Like, I'm gonna just put it like this, and this ain't no knock to no other schools, cause you know what I mean. I value every other school, their program. You know what I'm saying? I talk to the kids. I even send film out for other kids. They don't know it, you know what I'm saying? But if I see their film, so there's no knock to them. But just like what we saying with Taylor, you know what I mean? Taylor is underrated and overlooked, but. And I can show you right now 6 different screenshots where Division II, NAIA, D1 JUCOs, D2 JUCOs, coach, we love it, we're going to recruit them. Most schools, number one, is not even getting that. They main option's not even getting that. You feel what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like with the way we're going, like I said, the talent we get and how much I work them boys, like it's not even, I don't even brag about myself. You'll never see me say Chris Brooks is this, I brag. But one thing I do, I make them boys work. And if them boys work, I work for them. So I'm working the phones 24/7 for them, sending out film. So I'm always say my programs are elite just because about the results. Just like Jordan Price was my first kid that I had my first year at Inlet. Now Jordan Price didn't play varsity basketball. He was at Dwyer freshman and sophomore year. He played travel ball with me over the summer. And I really worked him, really worked him, really put my hands on him. And his dad was like, Coach, I like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if it can work, I would like for him to come play with you or whatever. And Jordan was the face of Inlet first getting there. So he went from an unknown JV player to averaging damn near 15 points his first year. He had an offer from Penn State versus Division III University of Fort Lauderdale, which is, I believe it's NAIA now. So that speaks for itself. And then I had Jay Sean Panate, who nobody knew, mixed looking, goofy looking kid, but he shot the hell out the ball. You know what I'm saying? His first year on varsity, he made 75 threes, had the same offers as Jordan did. And that's year one. And we won 8 games. And I went 8-20. In 13, 14 of them 20 games I lost by 40 at least. You feel what I'm saying? So, but it ain't, like I said, it's not about winning. It's about developing and putting kids in school. And if we just going strictly out developing and putting wins in school, I gotta be elite. I'm a brag for a second. I gotta be up there because I'm, like you said, I'm doing that with not me. They're doing that themselves. They just come to the opportunity and I work for them. But they 7th, 8th, 9th, unforgotten man. Might have been juniors on JV at different schools. You know what I'm saying? They come to where I'm at, and even coaches said like, man, how'd you get that kid that offer? How'd you get that kid that offer? Is he really that good like that? And I'm like, if you seen him work, you'll say the same thing. So, and now even that I have better talent now with Robert and let me show you right now. This is you ain't gotta say the school. Don't even say the school. I'm gonna just show you what the kids say. Receipts.
He say I keep receipts.
Keep receipts. Yeah. I'm gonna just show you the school. All right. Boom. Here we go. Right there. See the top. See the school. Look where it say 27-2. Look at the top. That's the name of the school. That's Division I.
Okay.
Now scroll down where it say 27-2.
Okay.
27, and then the 3, you can read it out loud.
He says 27-2. he won't have to worry about playing for school
Paying for
whatsoever. Paying for school whatsoever. I'll be in contact June 15th, seeing him in the summer and the fall.
And that's Jamarcus Johnson. And that's a Division I school that you read right there.
Yeah, I know.
Right or wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's receipts.
And that's quote unquote my second, third guy. Let's say we go Robert Brown.
You know,
Another D1 up there. That man talking about a visit already. You read through it? Top C Division I school. And they just made the tournament this year. That school up there at the top just made the NCAA tournament this year.
Oh, they did. They sure did.
And you read down the bottom.
Really
Can't wait to get y'all. Can't wait. Yeah.
Really happy y'all got it. Tell my guy we're ready for y'all to get out here soon.
Yep. It's another Division I school. But, I mean, that's from your 25th and 21 rank. You know what I mean? So, I don't brag about it, man, but at the same time, man, I can't let nobody slight my boys, man. Right. They work too hard, man. We condition on the football field, bro. We work too hard not to be recognized how we supposed to be recognized. And I don't push the narrative of, you know what I'm saying, they got to be recognized here. But when they feel away, I have no choice but to feel away at the same time. I always tell them, put your head down, keep working. Even if y'all went 19-3, everybody was, you should have been coach of the year, you should have been coach of the year. I wasn't. We ain't winning though. That's all I kept rolling. Kept moving with it, you know what I'm saying? But when they feel slighted, bro, it ain't.
So let me ask this question, right? When one of the biggest knocks against Inlet is that you don't play nobody. What do you say to the people that say that Inlet doesn't play a tough schedule?
Yeah. I mean, that's moving the goalposts. There's nothing else they can point at. So my first year, I played 8 teams that went to the playoffs, and I had Jordan Price and Ja'Sean Panay and other football players that just played just because they wanted to, because it was like, all right, it's cool. They got new uniforms. They brought to school. They had a cool coach. I played. So I really had 2 guys that never played varsity basketball, and I played 8 playoff teams that year. Now, going into the next year, I said, okay, I see that Jordan and Ja'Sean didn't get a lot of the accolades because of wins. I said, we only won 8 games, but their stats measured up. They got offers to play for school. So I said, maybe we got to win. So I said, I'll play teams on my level. Because just thinking in my head is Inlet only won 8 games. I'm only going to have these 2 guys again. Now, coming into the summer, going into school, my schedule was already set. I didn't know I was going to get Marcus Upshaw from the Wire. Didn't know I was going to get Adrian Espinoza from Glazedale, averaged 20-something for 3 years, 1,000-point score. Didn't know I was going to get Tajari Green. Didn't know I was going to get Amar Cohen. Didn't know I was going to get Dravion Glenn. So I'm like, shit. I got all these transfers coming in. God, I'll show you screenshots. God is my way. PBC Hoops can tell you. I said, bro, I need your help. I got to get a lot of these teams off my schedule, and I got to play some of these better teams with comp. They wouldn't do it. I can't have a loss to Inlet Grill. Now, some coaches flat out told me, you got too much this year.
Whoa. Time out.
Listen,
I can't let you go by like you just didn't say that.
Listen.
You telling me coaches feel like I can't have a loss to coaches?
Listen.
To Inlet?
Listen. Two of the more respected coaches in this city told me, hey, man, you got too much this year. I can't do it. Now, mind you beat me by 40 the year before. Fine, cool. Other coaches was just like, you know, we played tag trying to get dates. Other teams was like, you know, it just didn't work for me. So I definitely tried to strengthen that schedule up more that second year. But however, I will say, I played Jupiter Christian twice. Nobody wanted to play Jupiter Christian that year. 6'8" Matt James, 6'8" Jeremiah. Yeah. You had Colin Paul, freaking monster. You had Aiden Walker, and Tajari, who wound up transferring. Nobody wanted to play Jupiter Christian. I sat there and heard coaches that won 26, 27 games. I don't want to play Jupiter Christian. You feel me? I played them twice.
At the coaches meeting, they talking. I don't want to play them.
Yeah, I don't want to play them. Nah, we ain't go. I'm sitting there with T as they. We ain't go. They making up excuses. I played them twice and I played Benjamin. So I'm like. And I played Central that year. And I went to Belgrade, who nobody wants to go to Belgrade down there and play. You feel me? So I'm like, based on my talent that I had the year before, I scheduled as what I had. You know what I'm saying? And then once that slew of talent came in August, I'm like, ooh, yeah. And I tried. Trust me. But it ain't go down like that. And then even last year, man, I played down to everybody. Late Worth, Suncoast, Central, Newman, Treasure Coast.
And got some wins.
Yeah, got some wins. And I had all freshmen and sophomores. Taylor had the most varsity experience, and he was my 6th man. So that was his first year starting too. Played everybody. This year, tried to play Lake Worth. We couldn't, me and Bachelor shot at Bachelor. We couldn't get a date. We was testing for weeks. trying to get a date. I had Fort Pierce Central on the schedule. That wound up not working out. Me and JD normally play. I think I hit JD up too late. His schedule was already full. Played Wellington. Who else did I play? Played Wellington. Play some schools, man. So I mean, to that, when people always say strengthen it up some, I just feel like that's a goalpost mover because I'm playing people. Tried to play. I think I hit up Ja too late. I think I hit him like August. No, like Octoberish. And he was like, it's too late. So everybody's schedule was kind of. I'm a little bit of procrastinator, so I do my schedules late. Everybody had their schedules done by
the summertime, most of the
man.
time.
Yeah, I don't start the August, September because I'm doing other sports. So, you know what I mean. But definitely try to, I try to play everybody. There's nobody that can say I just did not play them. You know what I mean? But
I will say that, man. When I was at Forest Hill, you did play us.
Yeah, that first year.
And
spanking 40 plus.
Forest Hill is not that team that you just want to play when you just try to figure it out.
Man, we couldn't get the ball across half court, man.
You got to go with your track shoes on.
And I knew it. Couldn't get the ball across half court, man.
But you know something? I respect that because my thing is at the end of the day, we don't do it for the wins and losses. We do it for the development and making sure these kids on the platform. And if you're the best guy, let me play you and see where the hell I measure up.
Well, I measure up at.
And you said it best. Okay, you got me by 40. So the next time I play you, I gotta beat you I gotta get by 20. Then 10. Then by my third, fourth, fifth year, oh wait, I'm trying to win this game.
Yeah, I'm on you.
You had games against Wellington where it's like, oh hey, bro, don't sleep on us.
Yeah, don't sleep. Yeah, definitely be a tight one. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Now, okay. Jamarcus, Robert, and Jordan are obviously the three guys that a lot of people talk about for inlet.
Taylor. Yeah, Taylor.
And Taylor, I'm sorry, Taylor.
Yeah.
And I feel like the media pins those three guys against each other.
Yeah, they do, for sure.
And then internally amongst each other, they have a great relationship.
Yeah, my turn.
Why do you think people shine a big light on Robert, but then, quote unquote, the media forgets about the Taylors and Jamarcus? And how does that, what dynamic does that create in your locker room?
Like I said, they bond is strong, so it doesn't really bother them because they know. But also sometimes too, I feel like the media forgets about Robert too, honestly. Because when Palm Beach Post did their preseason top 10 players, no inlet player was on there. You had kids that, I'm happy for all kids, but kids that just didn't produce as much last year. You get what I'm saying? But then when I talked to the dude from Palm Beach Post, and this one made my point, I said, well, how did you come up with, because this new dude, very good dude, I think Alex. I said, so how did you come up with it? He said, I called the coaches around here, and they gave me their top 10. Nobody from inlet was mentioned. So I said, cool.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So I was like, he gave me off the list of schools, and that's what you saw on there. So I'm like, well, damn. When I did my first team ballots for Palm Beach Post and Sun Center, I literally called coaches, hey, I'm about to put your kid on first team. What was his stats? I know he's great. What's his stats? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but then when it came back around, it's like nobody from us. Okay, cool. But the attention that Robert got, I mean, they did rub people the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? I'm a team first, so I never call any publication, call anybody, hey, Robert. Never did that. I don't do that for none of my guys because the work gonna show. You feel me? You doing what you're supposed to do, they gonna be there. So at first I think it was an adjustment period, especially for Taylor. Because his freshman year, he had all that hype. It's like coming into a sophomore year, you're going to be the man, which he was. Stats don't always prove, you know what I'm saying, everything. And Taylor made second team last year, which he's supposed to. Felt like he should have made first team. But between them three, it's a great relationship between them three. Because as soon as Robert came in, I told him, hey, you need to stick by Taylor 24/7. Learn from him. Learn his regiments, learn his routine, see how he working in practice, how he always first. That's what you need to be doing. You feel me? And same thing with Jamarcus. Jamarcus and Taylor was always like this because they've been knowing each other since Stampede days. So between them, it definitely was never an issue. Now amongst, you know what I mean, people who spectated it looked a certain way, but it never was that way. I promote all of them the same way. You feel what I'm saying? So when I mention one, I mention all.
Right.
You did. So it definitely had its obstacles. I definitely had some tough conversations with some parents who was like, well, it looks like this. And I'm like, that's not how it is. You feel me? Like, it's the dynamic of it. Like, it's just how it's playing out. But every team is going to have its 2 or 3 top guys. And, it's going to have other players who feel like I'm just as important. But, the media don't cover everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even with Even with we say like Weston with Terrell. Terrell's their best player, but Rashard is just as important. You know what I'm saying? But Weston, you hit Terrell, you hit Dakota, but Rashard, Lucas, just as important. Lucas, just as important.
Just as important.
You know what I'm saying? So it happens. You know what I mean? But just thank God those boys, they had a tight relationship, so it was never no turmoil, no beef into the locker room. It was never no open jealousy or anything like that. Only time the boys are getting into it when they hold each other accountable on the court. You know what I mean? If Taylor getting on Rob, or Taylor getting on Jamarcus, or Taylor staying on Jamarcus' head by, turning down shots. But that's it. Never was no, you know what I mean? You think you bigger than this, or you think you better than this. It was never that. I don't allow that in my locker room because I don't even act like that. You feel me? I treat everybody the same. You know what I'm saying? So no jealousy at all. Nope. Media tried to. Now, I'm not going to say they did it on purpose, but it happened. It definitely happened.
Your Sun Sentinel comes out. All county selections, honorable mentions, and the whole nine. No inlet player.
Nah. Well, Robert May said. But no first team.
No first team.
Another surprising. That was a shock to me, especially for small schools. But, again, I'm looking at Sun Sentinel, and I know they're further down south, so they're going to recognize more kids from down south. I think 4 or 5 of the kids who made first team was from that Boca area, but I just was like, no Robert, no Jamarcus. Okay, cool. Robert was second team. The rest of them made honorable mention. So, again, I'm like, I don't know what's the criteria because we won more games than some of those players that made it. Stats was right there. They might have averaged a point or two more or whatever, but, I mean.
See, I got mixed emotions about that, and a lot of people tell me I shouldn't say what I'm getting ready to say, but, I got my own radio show. Bitch can't cancel me. You know what I mean?
Okay, ain't gonna cancel myself.
Yeah, I can't cancel myself, but I have an issue with how Sun Sentinel and the Post work in terms of their rankings and their selections. My thing is, how can you rank, evaluate, or speak on if you've never covered the sport in this area?
I get that. I understand.
One game a year isn't enough for me. I mean, I think in order for you to actually be on a committee that ranks whatever, you have to go out and watch.
Yeah, not facts.
Or watch the film at home.
Watch the film. Yeah.
And I still keep my huddle active so I can be able to watch a lot of these schools' film because of that stuff. Because if I can't go out to a game, I'll sit and watch.
You shouldn't watch, not facts.
Because when I speak on certain players, I want to be able to say, hey, this kid is good because of this, or this kid needs some work because of this. Yeah, and that's my issue. That's my gripe. Like, I was going to say quite a few things if J.R. Gamble didn't get Coach of the Year.
No, he deserved it.
No, he deserved it. Right? And people thought I was slighting when I made the statement about anybody else coach that team.
Yeah, I heard it.
They don't win 5 games.
I heard it.
Gamble got the most out of his kids.
No, he did.
And Gamble, I think, is the only person that can communicate with those kids and get what they got. Because they respond to Gamble a little bit differently, man.
No, they do.
And they fight for that man. And they wanted him to get that. And I want him to get it too. We gonna beat Stranahan. With Sagemont, we gonna get him, Gamble. We gonna get him Monday.
He definitely. That was when they asked me. They was like, do you feel like you should get small schools coach of the year, being that this is the second most wins in inlet history, and y'all made to this championship. And I was like, yeah, I got a legitimate case, but I was like, man, with JR doing ACA, gotta get it to him.
The regional championship game, that was big.
Gotta get it to him, man. So I was happy that he did. I don't really know who else could have got it. Well, maybe Johnny O. I'm sorry, my bad, Johnny O.
Johnny O yourself. There was arguments.
I keep thinking Andrews higher than what they are because they win so damn much, but I keep forgetting they 3A2. Yeah,
it don't matter who they play.
Yeah. They won it with everybody.
So, okay, because I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I have a couple things I want to talk about really quickly with you. When it's all said and done, and you decide to walk away from inlet, whether it be retirement after 40 years, like Fred Ross, he just finds a way to stick around, or whether it be you go on to a different school. When you leave inlet, what do you want your legacy to be?
That I just made it a place where kids can come and develop as men, and come in as young athletes, but develop as men and just prosper in life, man. So before every practice, I had them at half court, and I just talked to them. You know what I mean? Some of them say I be preaching or whatever, but I just taught them how to like navigate through this world as a man, how to handle stuff as a man, how to react as a man. You know what I mean? So that's my main goal, man. Just get in. Any kid that said they want to play collegiate basketball, I want them to be able to say, hey, I can go to Inlet Grove, and that was possible. You know what I mean? Through the help of Coach Chris and the staff and everybody else. So that's the main legacy I want to lead that. I want to turn it into a Dwyer, to a Wellington, or a St. Andrews, a Cardinal, and say, well, hey, you go to Inlet, you going somewhere for school. You know what I mean? Just because of what was built beforehand.
Now, obviously, the following that we have, the amount of people that follow us and what we do here and how big this platform is growing. So with that being said, with the eyes and the cameras on you, what's one thing, or maybe more than one thing, that you want people out there that's going to see this interview to understand about you, your players, and your program?
The main thing I want to understand, man, like, this program is a program. It's not the laughing stock, Inlet that it was before. I still hear comments from referees or from other coaches and stuff like that may say, what happened in the past, but that's cutthroat. That's over with, man. As long as me and my boys here, man, it's a different ball game. You're going to have to respect us like, you know what I mean? We one of the top dogs. You feel me? Because, again, everything check off. If you give me a checklist of what a program needs to be successful, I check every last one of them off. Outside of state championship, which
nobody really got none of them.
Yeah, that ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's a goal. That's a personal goal of mine, but I'm a selfless person. I put people before me. So, like I said, I want them to know that, man, if you can make it at Inlet, you're going to go to college and play. Because I can show you text right now where coaches like, Coach, I recruit your kids because I know they're going to work. You know what I'm saying? And they give me self-accolades, but I bypass that. I'm like, as long as I see the compliments they give my kids, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when they come to Inlet, they put their jersey on, they got to work, and they're going to be successful, and they're going to make it somewhere. So that's what I need, people to know now. This ain't no laughing stock no more. I ain't no laughing stock coach, you know what I mean? I'm up there with them too knowledge-wise. I get the resume will come, but just respect everything that we doing over here in Inlet Grove, man, because it's definitely a tougher road to do than what other coaches, have. I went from, getting, the red carpet at Carl Newman to got the red carpet at Inlet. They let me do what I want to do, but the resources ain't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely hard. So a lot of that stuff comes out of me and my coaches, our pocket. So that's why I take it personal, you know what I'm saying? Because the kids want it. The parents believe in this little small school on 28th Street. So it's like we got to make it happen. You feel me? So that's what I need people to know.
And it's in your
like,
city.
Right there, right across the street, man. I grew up 5 minutes away from Inlet Grove, man.
And now the last thing I do want to give you is 5 schools that you want to put on the schedule this year.
5?
And I'm saying that because, I don't know if people know this or not, but some people may not want an Inlet loss on their schedule.
No, facts.
But what 5 teams that if you could put on your schedule, you want to see?
For me personally, I like coaching against elite coaches, Dwyer, Wellington, St. Andrews. We actually tried to play this year too. We couldn't get it together on St. Andrews. Was that 3? I always got to play my guy Lake Gardens. Was that 4? It's another school. You put me on the spot, man.
Yeah, man. Because let it be known, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, put me on the spot.
Whatever.
Central Jupiter. I'm ready to go with
whatever the narrative will be later that Inlet is ducking. Coach say he is not ducking.
Never have. Oh, hey, man, coach, stop telling you kids them lies, man.
Yes, man. Inlet don't duck. He is here. I've heard the rumors too. I'm gonna fight for you on this.
Kids, stop telling you kids lies, man. Because text messages don't lie, man.
Yeah, Inlet. Coach say, look, we ain't ducking nobody. Jupiter, Dwyer, Gardens, Central, St. Andrews, Wellington. Inlet is willing to play you.
Oh, for sure. I'm playing more
and he will probably come to you because you probably won't come to him.
Nah, yes. I've had coaches say, hey, coach, I can't play them. And that's part of the scheduling issue. They don't want. I don't blame you.
They don't want to come to Riviera Beach.
I don't want to come to 28th Street either, man.
So now you got to get 9 games on the road, 10 games on the road.
All my games be on the road, man. I probably have 6 home games. The other 19, I'm on the road, man. I'm on that bus.
That's okay. But see, that's why I love this platform, because now you can put it out there. You can control your narrative, man. And that's what I think media, when done the right way, is so beneficial, because too many times, and I've even done it, we'll make a comment in the media and people think it's the law. And really, that's not the case. That's why I love when people are able to come on and tell their truth. And they can come on and speak, because it get frustrating, man, when you consider yourself doing a good job and other people, respectfully shit on you. So,
no, they do. One last thing. I'm gonna have Matt just speak on it. Hey, look, to other programs that say certain stuff like, why that kid choosing inlet, why they going to inlet, damn my district, damn my region, they this, they that, oh he recruit this, recruit that. Look, man, I don't do that. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason why this year I didn't even go to no middle school games outside of me coaching girls flag football too, because it's like, I don't know, if I show up with that inlet jersey on, man, it's like coaches like, why is he here? You know what I mean? It's a big conversation. And it's like, man, I'm here just to watch basketball, dog. Like, if a kid say they're going to come to me, then that's what I'm riding with. If I got to convince you to come to me, then I don't need you. You feel what I'm saying? And which is fine. You could choose to go wherever you want to choose to go to, but y'all got to stop this whole, like, and I feel like that's the reason why when you ask coaches, they don't name inlet players. I'm going to just say it, bro, because I never had to worry about losing talent to inlet. You know what I'm saying? When Robert chose to come, I take it back. When Taylor and Carson chose to come to inlet, shout out to Carson.
Shout out to Carson.
When they chose to come to inlet, it was like, wait a minute, hold on, man. WTF? Like, these are two of the top 8th graders. Why they going to inlet? You feel me? Then as the years follow, and then Robert said he was coming, man, it was a wrap, man. And it was like, why? And I think that started getting the slight. Then I get 2 more Palm Springs kids that came and made immediate impacts on varsity, Kieran Petty and Raekwon Washington. It's like, why are they going to inlet? Inlet is Wayland Revere. This school way out here. They supposed to be coming to me. Why are they going there? And it's like, leave me out of that, dog. Like, they chose to go where they go. They like the program. They see what we doing over there. They see that everybody gets a chance over there. So it is what it is, man. Like, and don't slight my kids because of that. Don't slight me because of that, man. Just keep it.
Coach is petty like that, coach?
Nah, hey, man.
Hey.
I leave it alone, man, because like I said, I don't know how to respond to certain stuff, man, but it's bad out. It's bad, trust me.
Hey, you heard what he said. Hey, my dog said what he said. Anybody act up. Anybody act up.
Nah, I just want my boys to be treated fairly, man, regardless who come play for me or not, man. Just keep it. You know what I mean? Keep it a buck, man. Keep it grown, man, and keep doing the right thing for the kids, bro. Don't slight the kids because they didn't choose your program, so you choose not to name some of my kids to be on certain stuff. You feel me?
Right. Now, man, listen, I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you were able to come get that off your chest. It seemed like that was bothering you for a minute, man, And like I said, man, at the end of the day, on this platform, we don't want to bash or talk bad. We just want to present facts.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I support every coach, every program, man. They'll tell you.
But it's facts, though.
Yeah.
And so I think once we start to really shine a light on the things that go on really behind the scenes, man, people will start looking at different situations and be like, oh, okay, well, maybe this isn't so bad. Or maybe this is what it really was. So like Coach, I said, man, I appreciate you, man. Obviously, it's all love between me and you, no matter what social media may put out there, man.
No matter what you say, man, you still my dog.
That's right, yeah. And I'm gonna be I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told AJ. I'm gonna be your biggest fan, but I'm also gonna be your biggest critic.
Shout out to AJ too. Man. I told you I agree with everything. Yeah. Everything that young man sat here and said. I agree with it because I sat there and he gave me 20. Yeah. So I said, hey. Talk your talk,
talk your talk,
talk your talk, dog.
And not because I know we gotta get up, but not even just that. I love the fact that he's willing to even do that.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. I don't have to be friends with y'all.
Yeah, nah.
I'm a competitor. Y'all my competition.
Yeah, and that's my guy. And when I seen him a couple of days after the game, he was like, "Yeah, how you like that 20 piece I put on?" I said, "Damn, it's like that, bro." Yeah. So that's him. Hey, man, I ain't got no friends. I'm a hoop, man. I'm gonna respect you, but I'm a hooper.
And that's it, man. So like I said, man, I appreciate it, man, and I can't wait for this season to come up because
me neither.
I'm when you do your thing, I'm gonna give you flowers. But when you take that loss, I'm gonna be right there with you.
Nah, hey, I need it.
I'm gonna call you. Hey Brooks, what's going on, my dog? What's happening?
Hey, anytime I lose, hey,
I'm right there with you.
Empty that clip, man.
There it is. Well, it's your boy DJ Mellymel on another episode of The Cage, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube page. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice, that means you have us downloaded on the app. Continue to download us and make sure you follow us. Also, be sure to follow Coach Brooks on Instagram at
Coach Chris _inlet.
And make sure you follow his support in his journey. And if you're looking to donate or sponsor this program, reach out to us and we'll connect it so we can help take care of these kids and make sure that they get all the tools that they need. Because the man told